Bonjour à tous. Hello everyone. Welcome again to Africa 55 videos and a theme called Own Your Story. Today we bring one of our big artists. He's a French artist from Congo. His name is Patrick Tankama. Patrick Tankama is a visual artist. He's a writer. He has written books in French, which were translated into English. And now he actually he's ready to share his journey as an artist, where he started, when he started, what inspired him, and what inspires him now. And also in one of his work, he does have work where he actually paints or he gets inspiration from women. So let's hear his story. Let's be inspired by Patrick Tankama on under a theme called Own Your Story. Thank you.
After, yeah.
Okay, so good afternoon everyone. We are talking to Patrick, who is an Africa 55 director. He's an artist, both a visual and a writer. But I'm not going to waste more time with Patrick because this day is about him. We just want to welcome him to the Africa 55 YouTube channel, where we're going to be talking about him and his experience about arts and how it came about for him to start the organization or to co-found the organization Africa 55. Welcome to the channel, Patrick.
Thank you.
So we have a few questions that we want to actually ask you that we think maybe you can actually first give us a bit of a background about you and the arts. So what type of art do you do, and how did it come about to become an artist? And if you can just start from Congo up until to South Africa, just tell us about your art in Africa in general, basically.
Yeah. So I was born in 1976 on the 20th of June in Katanga region. That is a mining region in the Congo, in the southern East Congo. And my father is a painter and poet, like part-time. So I started to draw when I was young. And then I decided to move to Kinshasa, which is the capital city of Congo, and it's a very cultural place. If I compare it to Lubumbashi, where I was born in the Katanga region. I started by learning architecture, then I moved to painting. I did my first exhibition in 2003 with very well-known artists in the Congo, and while drawing and painting, I was also writing. So I met the art critic Badi Banganemine, was the director of contemporary art section of the museum.
Sorry, I heard you saying you did your first exhibition in 2003. Did you get some type of training then, or you were just using your talent?
Yeah, I was
some sort of like workshops.
Not really, but in my entourage, I had a lot of artists,
Okay.
And even the center where I did my exhibition was owned by a cartoonist.
Okay.
And I was also working, yes, with a painter who passed away, unfortunately, Willy Baruti, and I wrote a book about him.
Okay.
That is not published yet.
All right.
He was a landscape painter.
Okay.
So in 2006, I won a national contest of literature in the framework of a festival called Yambi Congo,
okay.
Wallonie, Bruxelles. So I moved to Belgium for a 40 days workshop of literature.
Yeah.
I met a lot of writers from everywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
And in 2007, I founded library, but it was like a cultural center because it was bigger than a library, because we were receiving a jazz group band,
Yeah.
some storytellers, and people coming to my book club. I was presenting books and things like that. So the type of things that I'm doing in South Africa was born like in Congo.
Okay.
And even in my family, we had a lot of talks about art and culture and literature.
Growing up.
Yeah, because my father was sharing with us his poetry and, different thoughts about art and culture.
Okay. I just want to summarize what you just said now. So basically whatever it started when you were still young. So
Absolutely.
basically it was talent. You are born talented, basically, both visually doing like visual art and
literature.
writing. But you did go to some schools to get some guidance, some like practice. Like you did go to like art school.
Yes, architecture and painting, of course. Yes.
And what inspired you to do your first exhibition in 2003?
I think every artist is that idea, that will to he wish to one day his work can be seen, because art is sharing.
All right. And what type of work did you exhibit in 2003?
It's, I do the same type of work. The subject is ladies, like women. Since then, because my goal is to portray human anatomy, but African way. So because African type is different to Caucasian, but most of the time, even at school, what we learn from European body type. So very early at 18, I decided to move from what I was, copying as
what
young
you've
artist.
actually you've grown up to.
Yeah, because
like by the time you were a teenager, you were seeing like European
because all the
pictures and books and models and everything. So you wanted to change the narrative.
Absolutely.
So you were like, okay, I'm gonna bring the African narrative into the visual anatomy of a woman, basically.
Yes.
Okay, so you've always been doing like stuff like women, like the lady behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So thank you so much, Patrick. So I just want to know, so you firstly, you are inspired by your parents. So you took that culture because, like, originally, as you just said, you're born in Lubumbashi, am I correct?
Yeah.
And what is your own language? What language do you speak?
Okay, so I speak 3 African languages. Why? Because my father is from the West, so he speaks Kikongo.
Yeah.
The Kingdom of Congo was a very big kingdom in the 15th century.
Yeah.
So the language was Kikongo. When Congo became a country, a part of the kingdom was part of Congo.
Yeah.
So we are from that part and we speak Kikongo.
Yeah.
So at home, we were speaking Kikongo.
Yeah.
And Swahili, because Swahili is the language of that part of the Congo,
That part
southern
of the Congo.
Congo.
Oh, okay.
So I spoke Swahili at a very young age because, of course, I was born in Lubumbashi.
Yeah.
And Lingala, why? Because my father and mother started to work in Kinshasa before they came in Lubumbashi.
Yeah.
So Lingala is very close to Kikongo.
Yeah.
And the Kinshasa is not far from the region my parents were born.
Okay.
So that is why I started speaking like both in Kikongo, Lingala, Swahili, and French, because French is the language that we learn at school.
At school, yeah.
And of course, my father and mother were speaking to us in French first.
Oh, okay.
So just because some
since an early age.
Yeah, because they came from Belgium first, and also they studied in French, of course, you know. So they were speaking to us in French, and then some cousin of us came from the village.
Yeah.
They were speaking only Kikongo, so then we learned Kikongo from them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, as much, because I've worked with you, obviously I've known you for longer now. I've never heard you speaking with your like close community, like your family and your loved ones, speaking like Kikongo, Lingala, or Swahili. I'm very interested in Swahili because I think Miriam Makeba that did have some like songs in Swahili, but that's
Malaika.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
so
angels.
I love languages. That's why I'm asking. But also we just trying to get to know you better, especially at Africa 55 YouTube channel. Okay. The next question is about I love the fact that we just want to Pat to start to just actually just wrap it up now or touch on history, arts and culture, and your work, and just give us a bit of that. You can give us 2 minutes of that, because most people, they think those things don't link, but I think they are connected. Can you just give us a perception in that, please?
Yeah, so history is the people,
Yeah.
geography is the land, and culture is what people, like history, bring to geography. So, like customs, traditions, languages, art, that is part of culture. Even technology is part of culture. Is what our imagination will bring in and on the land. So, and I was saying that people who live in South Africa, the Bantu people, came from North Africa, Northwest Africa, 3,000 years ago. And that is why we do have links between our languages. And I was saying that, for example, Zulu is the sky in Kikongo. In Swahili, they say Yulu, but it is still the same thing. And so now in art, we have like architecture, we have painting, we have, and a lot of painting in Africa are like body paints. It's also linked to African religions and beliefs. So in the past, they say intricate, I think, in English. So traditions, religion, and art was very close.
Okay.
Even in Europe, but now they are trying to say that it's only African art that is very deeply rooted in our religions and beliefs. But even if you go, for example, in Vatican, in Roma, you'll see art in the churches.
Yeah.
So there is a link between art and
And religion
sometimes,
and history. Okay.
And it's just now, like from the 20th century, that we try to divide the two, because we are in a capitalist and materialist
environment.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried to separate
separate the two. Okay, thank you so much, Patrick. The last question now is about Africa 55, which is the organization you co-founded in South Africa. So just if you can just give us a bit about the organization's objectives, and what future do you see for the organization in Africa? What impact do you think the organization will have, or is actually like having currently in the community?
Yeah, I will first say that I had an idea of creating an exhibition with 55 different countries, and for each country a representative, somebody who can talk about the country. So that's where Africa 55 came from, and then we met and we decided to co-found it as a company. So our objective is to talk about African history, social issues, arts and culture. Mainly that is our focus. And we try to do both in the same place. So we have an exhibition of African artwork or African thinkers. We have a roundtable to talk about African issues, and we have a slideshow on a big screen to show what happens in Africa and what we can see, like landscape and things like that, presenting the countries. And the future of Africa 55, I think I want Africa 55 to be the same type of organization, but now to move from place to another one. So like going to townships, to schools, to different associations, and
To reach out more to
even
the community, or in the
companies,
community.
even to present Africa into different companies, here,
So what you basically wanted to grow bigger.
to grow bigger,
Yeah.
and to go deep.
To go
Not
deep.
just bigger,
But to
very
go
deep.
deep.
Yeah.
There is a lot that our young ones need to learn from Africa 55.
Young and even
even
The old
the
people.
old. Okay, so thank you so much, Patrick, for your time.
You're
So
welcome.
you now we're going to have Patrick on one of our next event, which is it's camping, but it's an online camping. So we're going to have a virtual talk with Patrick on issues about arts, Africa, and history. For now, you can just like round up the interview. If you want to say anything to the viewers at home, you can just say anything or just say bye.
Yeah, for me, art is love, art is sharing. And even though we are in our room to create, but at the end, we want to share it with other people. And I think the camp is that objective. So it's like to go from our dreams to communication.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Art is love. That's
art
basically
is
it.
love.
Thank you so much, Africa, Patrick from Africa 55 and the Congolese Artist. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Cheers.